Have a very great topic, and that is a mother's role in nurturing the next generation. This is an amazing topic, and I know every mother out there would love to enjoy this show. To discuss this great topic is an amazing lady, a great phenomenal woman, and that is none other than Aidah Nyamwiza Wandabwa. She is here to take us through and also to share her experience into this whole journey of motherhood. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome this great lady right here on the Family Hour. Happy to have you on the show. I'm very happy. This is a ladies talk, a ladies show. Happy to have you on the show, Aidah.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you.
I'm very happy to host you again. The last time I did host you with your husband, and now you are here.
How we met,
yes, and how you met. And I must say your story was such a blessing one. It was a beautiful one. I really enjoyed it. Yes. We are happy to have you now on the Family Hour, and also to share your experience as a mother. And before that, of course, I would love you to say hello to the viewers and also tell them briefly about who is Aidah and where is this Wandabwa name coming from. Yes. Please.
Good evening, dear viewer. First of all, I want to thank you, Claire, for hosting me yet another time. Yes, I'm Aidah Nyamwiza Wandabwa. I am married, and that is where the name Wandabwa comes from. I've been married for 6 years, 4 months, and 1 day.
Yes. I like the 1 day one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, we are blessed with 3 children.
Oh, wow.
One is 5, that's a boy. The second one is 3. Girl, and the last one, I hope, last one, acting.
Last one, acting, okay.
Who's about to make 6 months next week.
Okay, wow, congratulations.
Yeah, of course, I work. I'm one of those working mothers. Yes, I'm a banker. I'm a student also. I'm studying with the Institute of Certified Public Accountants, Uganda. So I'm a certified public accountant in making.
Wow.
Yes, I also do a bit of business. Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Now, Aidah, I don't know what you're doing to me right now on my show, because you're trying to bring the last question as number one after your introduction, because I see you are such an amazing woman. You're a businesswoman, you're a student, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a banker, you're all those things. How do you balance? How do I balance? Of course, it is by God's grace, but also whatever I'm doing, I love doing it. I love marriage, first of all. I got married willingly. No one forced me. So I love marriage. I love being married. I love being a mother. So I love my work. I love my job that I work with a bank. And growing up, by the way, that was one of my dream places to work. I remember my mother asking me, I think it was in A level, when she asked me, depending on the combination I was doing, she asked me, I was doing Meg Kiswahili. So she asked me, okay, now what are you going to be in the future? Are you going to become an accountant? Are you going to work in a bank? I'm like, yes, I will work in a bank. What made you like the bank?
No, like, you enter it. I think it's a place where I can learn whatever I want to learn in my career. I think it's a good place for me to learn as many things as possible. So that's why I love working there. So for me, so whatever I do right now in my life, I love doing it. So even the business part of it, that's something, it's a friend of mine who introduced me to that business. So I think it was after COVID, and then what was happening, people lose jobs, salaries were not, that the economy became tight. So I had to do something. So I see this business. A friend of mine introduced me to it. So I tried it out. I had never known that I can market.
Oh, wow.
That I can market a product and someone actually buys it. It was the first time to try out something. So I tried it out and it worked.
So you're a coat of many colors.
And it worked. You know, I never knew that I could, you know, do something. Yeah, for now I move with it, and most of my clients are my workmates. A few are outside because that is where I spend most of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I love doing whatever. No one is forcing me. No one is really forcing me. I love what I'm doing, and I do also ministry. Of course, I'm a Christian. I do ministry with. I go to Thorncroft Chapel, Chagwe, UCU. So sometimes I'm also involved in ministry. I also love serving the Lord. I'm a Christian, so a Christian, that is part of our care also, to serve God.
Wow.
Yes. So I try, and for me, that is the definition, by the way, of success. I believe that a person is holistic, is 360. So every sector of your life needs to be attended to, right? So for me, and there are women who have done that. They are mothers, they are wives, they have studied, they have PhDs, and they have taken care of their children, and their children are successful today. So you wonder, how did they do it? So I can also do it, I think, by God's grace.
Amen.
Yes, by God's grace. For me, I believe that I have something more to offer to the world other than being at home and you know, taking care of children. Of course, that is my primary role as a mother, but I believe that I have something more in me to give to the world.
Oh, wow.
So that is why for me, I want to take care of each sector of my life. I don't want to leave anything unattended to. And I feel that's how I can define success.
Okay.
Yes.
I really love that. And I mean, from your sharing, you meant to say, because you love what you're doing, it's easy for you to balance and to do.
Of course, sometimes you get tired. Sometimes you get tired, you get worn out. But again, when you're doing something you like.
Exactly. It always drives you. It always drives you.
Yes.
Wow, I like it. I like that. And I like it when you say that you're not the first one, actually, to do all these things. People have done them and have succeeded at them. So really, you can also... And
let me also note that it's not like you will always have it figured out. No.
Definitely.
At some point, you're going to fail.
Exactly.
At some point, maybe, sometimes I leave work and going to class. I reach home late and I find my children sleeping. Every time I find my baby sleeping, I feel very bad because I always want to find them awake. I always want to, you know, spend some time with them, take them to bed because they are so used to me taking them to bed. So every time I come home, actually most of the times when I reach my house like this and they are asleep, I run to the bedroom first to check on them. So sometimes you fail, but you don't give up. You don't give up. I believe that before these children came, there was an Aidah. There were dreams that I had. So they shouldn't be, like they shouldn't, you know, be cut off because I became a wife or I became a mother. No, they should also be growing as I also try to do this through Christ.
Amen. Who strengthens you. And I like that because he says it in his word.
Yes.
Through him, you can do all things.
We can do all things.
Yes. And I love that you are willing to offer yourself to do everything. And I believe God will see you through to be able to do everything.
Yes.
So how has being a mother, today our topic is on motherhood and everything and the roles of a mother.
Yes.
So this is where we are going to dwell our conversation today. How has how has being a mother changed you as a person? Or if it has changed you anyway?
Of course it has. You can't remain the same.
Wow.
You can't remain the same. A child will just turn you around, to just turn your life around.
Exactly.
But first of all, growing up, I'm a last born of 5.
Wow.
And growing up, like I had never taken care of any child. I had never babysat any child. my sisters got married before me, and I had never gotten that chance of going to be at their home and take care of, help them take care of their children. No, my parents never allowed me to do that. I would just go.
Baby.
Yes, I would just go for a short time to visit them, and then I come. So I honestly didn't have any experience in babies. So at that time, I really didn't have any interest in children, in baby, like they were none of my business. It is until thank God I got married to a man who knew what to do, who had taken care of babies before. He had some experience. He had some experience, so he really helped me. And of course, the other people, when you're a first-time mother, we had a lot of support from our parents, from our mothers, from our sisters. So everyone was just there willing to help. Yeah, but it is until I actually gave birth. The Bible says that a child is a gift from God, and blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them, for they will not be put to shame. I got to know that actually a child is a gift. From that time, I started respecting every child that I see.
Exactly. Wow.
Whether they are on the street, whether they are disabled, because I knew what it takes to bring a life. It is not something easy. In fact, my doctor once told me that if you come out of this and both of you are alive, you thank God. I know. Because some other people don't make it. Either one of them goes or both of them go. But for you to be out, both of you, you need to thank God. So for me, it changed my attitude towards children. Like I respect every child that I see, and because they are a gift indeed. Because remember that there are also some mothers that are looking for them.
I know,
and they don't have them. So it is not guaranteed. So for me, it is a gift, and the fact that God has given you this gift, you better do your best with them. You better do what you are supposed to do, because you will account. Exactly. One day. Yeah, because we are, and God expects us to raise them up in a godly manner, godly offsprings. That is why He's interested in godly marriages, for us to bring them up in a godly manner. So it is a huge responsibility. First of all, you cannot just now start living life the way you want, because you have brought this human being. And they are to the world. They did not ask to be brought. I know, right? They didn't ask. Some two human beings decided to bring them to the world. So okay, now that's so okay. You better be like stand up and do your best, because they did not ask to be here, but they are here. So it is up to you to take care of them, because for them that's what they want. That's what they want, and that's what they know. Yeah, so for me, it changed me a lot. My attitude, you can't just live life the way you want. They depend on you. There's someone who now depends on you. They give you motivation to go and work. My children have to, to be this. My children can't fail to have this. So you work on yourself to be better, because you want to be an example to these children, to their daughters. Yeah, and you are the first examples they are seeing. They are seeing, so you better do, and do. So for me, it changed me, especially my firstborn. Oh, I remember when he was just born, I'm like, is this what it means to be a mother? Literally, all of a sudden, no one prepared you. Of course, they had told us, but until you have to go through it and experience it and know what it means. I know. And know what it means, because now you're used to sleeping the whole night, you enjoy your sleep, and now here you sleep for 30 minutes, you're up. 1 hour, you're up. I'm like, what is all this? Like, what is all this? Is this what it means? Let me tell you, the first 6 months of my first, in fact, every time I give birth, usually the first 3 months are not easy. Because you literally, your whole mind, emotions are just on the baby. It can be stressing sometimes, but with great support around you, you manage, and with God, of course. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I just love that, and definitely, like you said, honestly, motherhood, there is a way it turns everything around.
Does.
Like it really changes you completely. And I just love your experience. But also, did you at some point, what is this called? Is it postpartum? Like
postpartum depression?
Did you go through that?
I think slightly, because I would find myself, actually on each and every child, I think, I would find myself asking myself, why? Is this what I have to go through for me to be, especially on the first one, at least there you don't know, everything is new. You're like, is this what it means to be a mother? I can't have my life. Like you find yourself grumbling inside. You're grumbling, you're complaining, and yet you actually have people around you to help. My husband has been my greatest support in this motherhood journey.
Thank God. Yeah.
He has made motherhood easy for me. My God, I don't know if he was not the one, I don't know what I would do, but he has always been there. But even with that great support, I remember we had our second child during COVID. Actually, that second COVID, I remember it was on June 30th. That second COVID, when the president closed the country, this time there was nothing like support. It was just the two of us in hospital. It was at home, so you're just the two of you. Bambi, my husband, did his best, but there's a time I would find myself crying. All of a sudden, I'm like things are so many on you and you. So I think I actually did go through slightly.
Like what helped you?
Of course, like I said, my one and only who had been there. There's a time Bambi, he found me crying on my second baby. I'm like, but why are you crying? Why? Like these things are too much. And I think I fell sick after 1 month. It was like an infection. So it got me, now it made things worse. So he tried his level best to encourage me. What I would do mostly is to breastfeed. After breastfeeding, he takes the baby away. Like he did his best, Bambi, to make me feel better. But it was not a deep thing. I remember even talking to people, some ladies who can help. I'm like, what am I going through exactly? But yes, I got out of it. But majorly it was because of him and talking to a few people who helped.
Wow. Thank you very much. I asked that very question because I think that is something that is very common now and people need help. So thank you for sharing that. So would you also share with us your own experience as a mother and how the experiences as a mother and how they have shaped your approach to nurturing your children?
My experience as a mother. First of all, as mothers, God has given us a privilege, first of all, to be a mother. You like, it is not guaranteed, you don't, God chooses. So knowing that it is a gift and God has chosen me, and these children, like I said, they are a gift from the Lord. And he expects us to raise them up in the way of the Lord. So for me, actually, because I'm a Christian, we are Christians. So that is the yardstick. The Bible is the yardstick. The Bible is the standard. So everything that we are doing with these children, it has to be in that line. Introducing them to God. Because that will help them. That is like the foundation of everything. That is, I think, the best thing you can give to your child. Because with whatever that is going on today, sometimes I wonder how people with God do it, without God do it. Have you ever imagined your life without God?
Oh my God.
Have you ever?
It's even hard to imagine because it's so hard to imagine a life without Christ.
Sometimes I sit and think about my life from way back And up to today, I'm like, if it was not for God, where would I be? What kind of life would I be leading? Because this life is just too much. It brings your way so many things. And if you do not have God, trust me, you will break down. So for me as a mother, becoming a mother after knowing God, it has helped me to, first of all, nurture my children in that direction. My children are still between 0 and 5, all of them actually, and that stage is the most delicate stage. So you don't expose them to things that will, corrupt their mind. So of course with prayer, you pray for them. I do that a lot. On a daily basis, I pray for my children. I pray for good health upon them. I pray for protection, for divine health. Do you know that these days, children are just suffering from funny diseases, and you wonder, how can a child suffer from pressure, for example? How can a child suffer from, heart problem? There are so many things that children are suffering from. I don't know where the issue is. Whether it is other mothers who are just eating the wrong things, I don't know. But I pray a lot for my children. I pray because I work. I'm not at home. So you just pray for God to take charge with the person you have left them with. So I pray for them. I pray for their friends as they grow up. I pray for salvation to reign in their lives. I just plead God. In fact, I'm even already praying for their spouses. Can you imagine?
Mama, serious mama.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm already praying for my son's wife. I have 2 daughters. I'm already praying for their husbands. Because it is very important. You will raise up your child in a good way, according to you. And then they will grow up and meet certain friends. And then they will direct them. So you better pray for even the people that they are going to meet.
Exactly.
And get to know, actually, as they grow. For mine are still young, so we are still building that bondage. Now, whatever they need is to just play with them. Just play with them, jump with them, hug them. It's the girl who really loves. I've realized that there's a difference between the boy child and the girl child. Sometimes the boy is just in his own world. He's either driving around on chairs, he's doing something, he's either drumming. He has that talent. So far we've seen that he has that talent. But for the girl, she always wants to come and cling on you and you hug and you yeah. So at this time that is what they want. But as they grow, their needs will change. Their needs will change. And motherhood, and I've also realized it's a journey. You keep on learning so many things. You keep on learning so many things from different people. So what I also do, I learn from different platforms, different conferences, different friends. We share like with other mothers what they are doing to raise up their children, to nurture them in very well. So for me, I think God, first of all, has helped me to nurture them, and I'm still on the journey. I pray for them. I try to guide them. I try to discipline them. Yeah, majorly that is how so far my experience has been, and I know that more are still coming as they grow. Their needs change. And every stage has its own challenges. Every stage has the way it is, handled. Like people who have teenagers, it's a different case altogether. People who are like before early teenage life, it is also different challenges altogether. So motherhood is just a journey, and you just have to keep learning because none of us knows it all. Exactly. Because even those who have grandchildren, I think, are also still learning something.
Exactly.
So for me, I am learning as much as I can learn. I follow different people on YouTube. I listen to quite a lot about parenting, about relationships, about marriages. I want to do better. Yes, I want to do better. I want my children to have a better story. I want my children, have you ever asked yourself, what will your children say about you in the future? Sometimes I see people standing and say, my mother did this for me. My mother used to do this for me. My mother used to do this for me. So sometimes I ask, okay, what will my children actually say about me?
That's really a big question.
And that question scares me. Like, what impact are you going to have on their lives? What influence are you going to have on their lives? That when they grow, you know, whatever we are doing, at the end of the day, it's the family. You might go and work and make all the money that you're making. But at the end of the day, that work will end. But these children will still be there. So I think it is also teaching me to prioritize.
Wow.
At the end of the day, family for me is my priority. Even when I work, my family is on my head. If I'm going to do some work and it is going to jeopardize my family in a way, I first let it be. I first let it be, and it will come later. Yeah. But at the end of the day, these children, we will make all the money. Someone said we will make all the money. But if we don't take care of the children, we will actually spend that money in rehabs.
Wow, that's a serious one, and that's true, yeah.
Yeah, or either you're busy preparing the future for the children instead of preparing these children for the future. Because you just need to give them the foundation. You just need to give them the basics of life. Of course, we have to work, we have to leave an inheritance for our children. It has been biblical. But with all this inheritance and the money, if character is not built well, if the foundation is not laid well, yes, you will make this money. But at the end of the day, they will squander everything.
And they will. Yeah. As mothers, wow, I just love that. And you put it so clear that as mothers, we have to prioritize our families and homes. And I love it when you say that, you know, motherhood and parenting is your primary goal as a
yes,
as a mother.
Yeah.
I really love that.
Yeah,
and
that's what we are
from your
for.
sharing, I love it when you say you are willing to learn each and every other day. Many other times when mothers, we want to be in our own circle. I will not share this because they will judge my children, or they will judge me that I don't know. And you find people are so struggling. Yeah. They are depressed in their homes.
Yes.
But I love it when you come out and you say, yeah, I look for help, I watch, I listen, I ask people, what do I do?
Yes,
which has been really a big crisis among mothers. You find they want to carry everything on their hearts, and you know, they are moving, they are frustrated, but they can't open up. So I think when you say that it's important for us to seek for help when we need it, to ask what we do not know, because really there is a reason as to why some people have walked ahead of us. For us to
they have gone through the same challenges. It's always the same challenges, by the way.
Always the same.
And someone else,
there is nothing new under the sun.
And someone else will have passed through the same thing you have gone through. And so, of course, you don't share with everyone. You share with people you trust, people you know that tomorrow they will not share your things in public. Yeah, but for me, yes, I always seek help. Where I think I need help, I will seek help. And and I'm also not the person who really keeps quiet about something when it's bothering me, whether it is about my children, whether it is about my marriage, whether my husband knows if things are not okay, let's say at home, because also the environment at home also matters. These children also, they need a conducive environment at home. Do you know that how we act today, how we behave today, 90% of it is because of how we grew up, of how our families were, of how our parents were acting. It affects you somehow. So the home has to be a conducive atmosphere for these children to express themselves, to be happy. But if something is going on and you're not solving it as parents, and here even the fathers come in, the fathers also can help, you know, to bring harmony, to make sure that the environment is suitable for these children. Because for them, all they need is they need to call home home. Home needs to be home. Not, have you heard of, like, there's some children, maybe those who have grown up, they're at school, but when they get holidays, they don't want to go home. Because home is just...
They want to tag on their friends. Like,
they feel like going home. First of all, mama and dad are just like how they just decided, like, as adults, you decide to have children. These children come to this world, but then you start acting like how you want to act. You forget that there's a human being you brought on earth that needs your care. Both of you, because there is a reason why God put father, mother, children. Father and mother, they have a role to play in this child's life. And I don't know if you have noticed, but a child who has grown up in a family that is, father, mother, and a child who has grown up maybe with a single mother, with a single father, or a child who has grown up in moving from one home to another because probably your parents are late and there's no relative willing to keep you for long. So you're moving from one home to another, Those children are different. Even when they grow up, they act differently. And unfortunately, these things, they come out when you've probably started your own family. That is when you see these effects coming out. Sometimes you don't even know, but you see them, manifesting. So we just need to create the right environment with God being our helper. Let's be aware. Let's just be aware that as a man, this son of yours is looking at you. You are the example that he's seeing. So, basing on how you're treating their mother, that is how they will treat their mother of his child when they have grown. As a wife, as a mother, your daughters are looking at you. How are you acting in the home? You're the first role model they are saying. So we better act well. We better do better for the sake of these little ones that we bring on earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Aidah, you've come for us today. Like you're saying very important and deep and true and facts, which I really enjoy. And there is something you talked briefly about. What will your children say about you in the future? And that is the same question I'm going to ask you.
May I also add your children, for example, also as a mother, does it mean, who is the mother, first of all? Is it a person that has given birth to the child? Oh, what about a woman that has adopted a child? What about, a firstborn who is a girl and is taking care of her siblings? But you also know that there are mothers who give birth and abandon their children. So would that also be called a mother? So when I talk about children, I also mean those that are not yours biologically. Because that would hit different. If a child who is not yours tomorrow stands up and says, this woman impacted me this way, in a good way, and they were not your biological child, I think for me that is a plus. And I think for me that is what I want to do. If any child comes my way and they are not maybe my biological child, maybe a niece or nephew, stepchild, God forbid. God forbid, I wouldn't want that to happen. But what if it happened? That child is not to blame, meanwhile. That child is innocent. Children are innocent. But do you know what happens sometimes with the mothers? We want to put our anger on these children. Because somehow maybe the father did something to you. And now you want to bring your anger to the child.
Who's innocent in this?
Yeah. Who just found themselves here. Maybe, like, probably your home is the only option they have to stay. And they are at your mercy. So how are you going to act? It is your actions towards that child will matter a lot in their lives. leave alone your biological child. Of course, it is expected that you should love your biological children. Although there are some women who are also frustrated and they also end up mistreating their own biological children. But for me, I would also want to look at this side of, okay, there are these children who just come in a home because it is the only option they have. And they didn't ask for it, because every child would want to grow up from their own homes, with their own parents, with their own father, mother. But if they find themselves in your home as a mother, you better act well with this child, because you don't know. You're not God. You're not God. You don't know how this child's life will turn in the future. He might actually turn out to be successful than your own children. But because your husband or the father of your child did something to you, so you want to turn your anger to this child, that is very bad. I know it can be hard, by the way, to take care of a child that is not yours, but with God, that is why I think every mother out there should know God, should have God in their lives. Because with God, God will enable you. And if there's a mother out there without God, I don't know how you're doing your mothering, because you need God to bring up this child in the right way. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Aidah. But still, I will ask this question that I really wanted to ask you tonight. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave for your children and future generations?
What kind of legacy? First of all, godliness. I want to introduce my children to faith. Of course, I cannot save them because I'm not God. Yes. So salvation will be there, but I'm going to. You know that the verse that says, Proverbs, I think 22, train up a child in the way they should grow, so that when they grow up, they will not depart. First of all, for me, I think that is the foundation. Because, like I said, sometimes I sit and ask myself, if I did not have God in my life, I said, how would I do it? Because life was not that smooth. But because I got to know God at an early stage, it helped me a lot. So for me, that is where I would want to start. I want my children, this is one of the things I would pray that my children will talk about me in the future. Maybe when they stand and say, my mom led me to Christ. My mom made it possible for me to go to church. My mom, like faith, introduced us to faith. And I'm very passionate about that. Even today, even as young as they are, we've tried to do our best. Amen. At least we take them to church, we pray with them. We are so mindful about what they are watching, the content they are watching. It has to be Christian. So we are doing whatever we can in, with God being a helper. But for me, I think that is the first thing that I would want to leave for them. Because with God, they will manage. They will manage because it is the foundation. It helps you fight so many things. It helps you fight so many battles. God will guide you. God will guide you. So for me, that is it. And then, but also, to work. I will teach them how to work. Both life skills and, to identify their dreams, to identify their talent, and help them nurture that talent. Help them train that, bring up, like I said, my boy likes drums. Like it is very clear. From, I think, the time he was 2, he loves drums. So every time we would go to church, time for Sunday school would come and he doesn't want to go to Sunday school. He's just looking at the drums. Of course, as he grows, he went to school. He started adjusting slowly. But even up to today, when he goes to Sunday school, he has mastered the time when we do the last song in service. He will come running because he wants to sit on the drum and drum. At home, our cups have suffered.
They are the drums.
They are the drums.
Oh.
Our spoons are the drumsticks. So that it is clear that that's what he loves doing. So, and for me, I am very determined to nurture that talent. I am going to create avenues for him to make sure anytime from now we are taking him for training, to train in drums.
That's the mother. Nurture.
Yes. So
yes.
That's I also like for him to stand and say my mother helped me to develop. She was there for me to develop this talent. And my girl loves dancing. She loves dancing.
Where does she take that from?
I think from me.
You're a good dancer.
Hey, high school I used to dance. And to today, by the way. But when I reached, I think, campus, I did more of singing. But even in choir, we used to dance. So for her, I think I hear her humming the songs. When we normally play, there's that gospel station on DSTV called Trust Gospel. So most of the times that is what. So you hear her humming some songs, dancing. Okay, sometimes they are watching their cartoons and there are those songs and she wants to dance. She's dancing along. She's dancing along. So you can see that.
You have a whole band in your house.
You see that is where. And for me, I am willing to help them develop this talent. And for me, I think that is what I would do. The legacy I would want to leave, of course, with inheritance work, leave for them something financially, but the foundation would be faith, to teach them how to work first of all. Because when they grow up and they know how to work, let's say at home, teaching them, chores, whether it is a boy or a girl, they will all learn the work. They will all learn the work. Not things of, it is the girl to learn and the boy sits. No, the boy child also has to be looked at. We have just abandoned the boy child as if they will be fine. And then we forget that the girl child you're raising will grow and meet this boy child who was abandoned. So what have you done in that?
Terrorism. Serious.
You're just going to frustrate your girl.
Exactly.
Because they are going to meet this boy who has, left to figure out life. Yeah, so for me, I want to encourage, after today, that even in their age, there's some work that I make them do, even at their age. And as they grow, regardless of whether we have house helps at home or not, I want to teach them how to do work. As they grow, they are going to have to learn how to do work, both home and away. Wow.
Yeah. Wow, well done. That's really, really good. And I would love to ask you the same question here, Aidah. You are Aidah Nyamwiza, and your husband is Wandabwa.
Yes.
Meaning Wandabwa.
Yes.
Meaning there is a cultural difference somewhere.
Yes.
And this is where my question now is coming from. How do your cultural beliefs, which are a bit different now, influence your parenting? Your parenting. Yes. Because I would want to believe your husband, there is a way, maybe in their culture, they have some beliefs in parenting and all that. And also in your culture, there is a different way you were raised. And maybe as a mother, I want to maybe raise your children a certain way. And then also the husband, we were raised like this. I would want to see this in my children. How does that, come in, and how do you take control of that?
Of course, when it comes to culture, it's a bit tough because, first of all, our languages are different. And it is something that I want to do, to teach them their culture, first of all. I'm from the West, he's from the East. They kneel while greeting. We don't kneel. We've never kneeled.
No, that's serious.
We don't kneel while greeting in the West. For us, we hug. And for them, you don't just hug. Like, I don't hug my father in love. I don't. I'm not even allowed. We are not even allowed to be in the same house together. Like maybe sharing a meal together. We are not allowed. So most of the times when I actually go home in Mbale, when I am in the house, my father-in-law goes out. For us in the West, okay, we
Millet is
exactly.
here. The shabwe is here.
So
and then he's saying, "Oh, pass me that, pass me that." And then
exactly, the father-in-law and the other side, they are sharing a meal together with their children, and it is okay. They are hugging, which is a different case this side. So actually, recently I was asking myself, I have 2 girls. They have to know their culture, but you know, children learn by seeing. For us, we've grown up not kneeling, but for them, they kneel. So how am I going to tell them to kneel while greeting? When me, myself, I'm not doing it.
So you have to do it. Meaning you have to do it because they learn by seeing.
Yes, they learn by seeing, and yet they have to learn it because it is their culture. Exactly. And they are girls. When you're greeting elders, you have to kneel.
Yes, exactly.
So it is still a puzzle. But of course, with God, as you grow up, you find ways. But that is something, of course, that I have to teach them because it is their culture. Yeah, it is their culture. Then another thing is other languages. Do you know that we are going to, not even for cross-culture, we are going to have an issue with, today children don't know their local languages. Everyone is just speaking English. As if Uganda has turned into UK.
I know.
As if we are now English people. Even people who are married to, if Munyankore to Munyankore, Muganda to Muganda, you find children speaking English. Even at home they are speaking English. Now imagine us, we even went beyond. So that is also something I'm trying. When I'm at home, I try, of course. I know a few words from Lugisu. He's a Mugisu. So I know a few words. But still I can't teach. What I've done most of the times, I bring girls from that place. But also when they reach, they want to speak English. And yet for me, that was the main objective, to use them. Maybe when they come, they speak to them. But when they reach, they also want to learn English. There's also an opportunity for them to learn English. So I try to speak to them, of course, in my language, but it is not their language. So that is something that I am still thinking about. Me, I'm going to try by that to teach them my language. But even their language, we are going to have to find out. For me, that is something I want personally. I want them to learn their languages. I want them to learn their culture. Because we are going to have a generation that cannot speak any local language. They just know English. In the future, a generation that cannot stand and construct the sentence in their local languages. Leave alone even the intermarriages, which is bad. We will lose our culture. And you know that the other neighboring countries, I think, are doing better. Like Rwanda, they have their Kinyarwanda. Kenya, they have their Swahili. But Uganda here, I don't know what we are going to do. It is now English.
Luxury.
Yeah. It is now English, maybe because we have so many languages. But I think as mothers, I think this is a call I would want to make. We need to do something. We need to do something. Also the fathers, we need to do something for our children, to learn their culture, to learn their languages. Also the schools, I think, are making it worse. I think they are discouraging also them to, because when they reach at school, English, I think they should also encourage them to learn their local languages. It is a challenge for this generation, for the current, motherhood and fatherhood. It is a challenge, but we need to find a way, because we will get a time and children don't just know English. They just know English, and that is it.
Wow, that's real. And also, of course, That's like a call on my side as well, with that little children, to actually start to introduce them to their local language. So that's really a good one from you. As we even plan to summarize, because I see our time is running so quick. In your own, let's talk about generational changes. In your opinion, how has the role of a mother changed over the generations, and what impact does that have on nurturing?
You see, our mothers, the styles they used for motherhood and parenting, today if you use the same styles, children will run away from home. Because now, these days it is, do you know that you even fear to beat your own child? Because someone might say, you take a video, it goes viral on, they will just come for you. And yet you're trying to discipline your child. You're supposed to discipline your child. But for us growing up, we were disciplined very well. And no one would say anything about it. Anyone would discipline you in the community.
Exactly.
Anyone would find you doing wrong and they will cane you. And your mother will not even say a thing. They can even add you. And it is okay. But today, if you apply that to the child of today, who are claiming child rights, who are very much entitled, you tell a child to do something and they will actually tell you no. A 5-year-old, they say, no, mommy, I don't want. Would you ever say a no to your mother?
They'll just give you an eye from a corner.
But how do you start?
You will just disappear. You will not.
But how do you start?
Yeah.
So it has changed. I don't know. Like, I think I saw the influence of the Western world. So it is no longer the same thing. So we need to find out, because discipline is important. You need to discipline. Because also the Bible says, I think Proverbs 29:15, that a child who is left alone and disciplined would bring shame to the mother. Because you have to discipline them. When you see them doing wrong, they have to be disciplined. And you have to do it in a way that you tell them, these days it is for dialogue. I'm doing this because you did this. I'm doing this because you did this. Which is not the same with our mothers. Our mothers, there was no place for dialogue. There is no place for, if you have done something wrong, you know you come ready for your canes. And they will beat you well.
Yeah.
So that is, I think, the change. We now have to do it, with caution, because people might think you're mistreating the child. You're also fearing, what if my child runs away from home? Like a teenager, you start beating them, they'll feel like they are not loved. They will fall into depression. My parents don't love me. There's some things that are going on. Oh, people, they are committing suicide over, I'm depressed, my parents are doing this. I don't know if such things were happening in our time. I don't know. Were they happening?
They were not. Thank you very much, Aidah. I must say this was really, really, really a beautiful time here on the Family Hour. And I'm looking forward to hosting you more often, because I really, really love this. I love you.
Thank you.
Your sharing. I enjoyed every bit of it. We are closing the show right now.
Yes.
Please say bye to the viewer, then we close. Just in a second.
Okay. Dear viewer, thank you very much for tuning in. And for the mother out there, you're doing it well, and with God, everything is possible. Just trust God, and He will see you through. Actually, continue doing the mothering you're doing. Do not abandon your roles. If you're working mother, be intentional. If you're home, be home. Spend time with your children, and ask God to help you. And to the fathers out there, please support the mothers to do their job well. Otherwise, thank you very much, Claire, for hosting me. I hope we have learned something.
Quite a lot. To you, the viewer, thank you so much for loving me, and thank you for loving the Family Hour, and thank you for loving Aidah here, who has really shared great things with us. The Lord bless you. It is a very good night. I'll see you again next Friday, same time, same place. I love you. Good night.